There are now a total of 6 animals in the U.S. that have been infected with the New World screwworm in recent days.
The pest feeds on mammals' flesh, and for months now, federal and international officials have been tracking the parasite's movement north through Mexico. And now it has arrived here in Texas.
The newest case we learned about today is in a cow in LaSalle County. 5 other cases have been reported in the last week, including one in Gillespie County, which is just west of Austin, as well as Zavala County and Lee County, New Mexico. Amid the race to contain the growing threat from the New World screwworm, we're seeing public disagreements and a rift between state and federal agriculture leaders.
Yeah, Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller has been critical of the response, arguing it's been too slow. As KVUE's Daniel Perot tells us, the state's top agriculture official has found himself iced out of the response.
It's the most gruesome thing that you could possibly imagine.
For many longtime ranchers like Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller, the return of the New World screwworm jogs painful memories. Miller remembers treating infected animals as a young boy.
It's so bad I don't even describe it. It eats you alive, basically.
Amid the race to prevent the parasite from gaining a firm foothold in Texas, Miller says he's frustrated some are playing politics. He says he's been left out of briefings and press conferences. Nate Sheets, who Governor Greg Abbott endorsed and defeated Miller in the March primary, has been there.
I've been ostracized because I've been critical of the USDA.
Miller drew the ire of U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins for saying ranchers may not report a case on their farm if they believe the government will impose a quarantine. She says it's critical people rapidly report cases so they can deploy resources and stop the spread.
That is a very unserious comment from perhaps unserious ag commissioner.
While Miller stands by his comments, he says the USDA's movement controls have not led to a full quarantine.
If they know it's just a health check, well, that's not a problem.
Miller is urging the USDA to use more than just sterile flies to combat the pest.
This is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. It's not working.
He wants them to use the screwworm adult suppression system, a bait and insecticide technology that was developed in the 1970s. The USDA says it's working to create a modern version of that technology.
The materials for the lure and the materials for the insecticide are no longer really viable to utilize anymore.
The primary insecticide used back then is linked to cancer, but Miller says there are other safe options now.
We can improve it and make it better if you want to, but we know it works. It's proven in the field. And no harm to the environment.
Miller says he's preparing to take matters into his own hands and order his agency to deploy the technology on its own.
I want to solve this problem before I leave office. And if we don't get any action soon from USDA, I'm going to move forward.
A rift between state and federal leaders as the screwworm threatens to thin out the state's already weak cattle herd and raise beef prices. Daniel Perot, KVUE News, Austin.